So do you ever see a nifty product being sold on YouTube and wonder, is it possible I can maybe make that at home, not have to, ship my designs out to a company in order to make it? One of the things that I saw recently were these really neat keychains that had, a person's artwork, set on a clear acrylic keychain. And I was like, I bet I could make that. And it turns out the answer is yes. And I'm going to show you how to do it today. In order to create the keychains, we're going to need to create a template that my laser cutter can understand a little better using a built-in image trace that Lightburn actually has. And I've tried sending it in something like this, but it struggles to kind of see the white border of the stickers, and I really need it to include that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set this up so that it works for my laser cutter in terms of the image tracing a little better. And it's pretty easy to do. All I really need to do is just kind of duplicate this layer and make sure that this is set to alpha lock, which it is. And then all I really do is, I don't think it really matters what color you use, but I always kind of do black. But then I fill the layer. And now I've got all of these shapes just where I need it to be, where I want the laser to cut. And then I just simply export it out, again, as a PNG. Once that's done, we're going to go over to Lightburn in my computer, and I'm going to show you how I cut these out. So now that I've got that file created, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it over into Lightburn. Now, there might be a way to do this in Glowforge, but I am not familiar with the software, so Lightburn's a little more of an industry standard, so I'm going to show you. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to import the file that you created over in PROCREATE or whatever image software you used. And it's going to come in like this. And it's going to see it as an image. And it's going to think you're probably going to want to engrave this and all that. But what we actually want to do is we want to do an image trace of this. Now, I usually always make sure that it's coming in the exact same size as the file. And Lightburn does a much better job than Cricut does. It usually comes in at the exact size. So 8.5 by 11. So this is the right size. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to click Trace Image. And you'll see that this traced it really well. This purple line is what it's tracing, and it works much better when you have the entire area filled in black versus like if you were to bring the sticker in, it struggles to kind of see that white border. So that's why I recommend sort of prepping this file before coming in. So because it makes this step much easier. So I've got it what I need, trace, and I just click OK. And now suddenly everything comes over, and you'll see this little, marching ants dashed line. So I usually just go ahead and turn off looking at the image. And we've got these shapes. Now, admittedly, I, only actually need one of these shapes to do this. So you'll probably need to click on group. You only actually need one of these shapes to work with. But at least this way I know that it's coming in, and it's coming in the exact size of my sticker. So I'm just going to go ahead and take all of these, and I just leave them over here, for, just as a safety in case I need it. But so I've got this. So this is my keychain, and to make life easier, I'm going to rotate it to work with and zoom in, move down. And so this is my keychain. Now, again, this is going to cut it so that it exactly matches the sticker, and I want there to be a little bit of a border. So I am going to offset it using the offset tool over here. And it lets me kind of offset however I want. So outward, inward, or both, and, let it be kind of round. So I kind of had previously set this distance of how much I wanted it to offset based on how it looked. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm just going to have it delete the original objects because I don't really need this shape anymore. Like I just need, this outside cut. So I'm going to click OK, and that disappears. And now I've got a shape that will, if it's cut out, will leave a little bit of a border around my sticker. So one last thing that I need then to make this a keychain is I need like a little hole to attach it with. And that's easy enough to do. I'm just going to grab my circle tool, and I'm going to make myself a little circle, and then I'm going to make myself like a little bigger circle. And then I'm going to take these, I'm just going to line them up so that they match. simple little center tool, and, you know, I can kind of, you know, adjust the size on it. So make sure that these are big enough. This inside circle is 4 millimeters. And then the outside circle is a little bit bigger. So I don't necessarily need it that big. So I'm just going to drop it down a little bit. And that makes this inside hole 2.5. So maybe just a little bit bigger. And I do this partly just to see what size the inside circle is, because I want there to be enough room that I'll be able to put the keychain piece in. So usually, like, you know, 3 millimeters or more is kind of what you need. So I'm just going to recenter those really quick. And then I'm just going to move it in line with my little guy here. And if you hold Control or Command in Lightburn, it gives you more fine precision movements. So I usually try to do it so that, like, that little inside circle would be along those lines. And then just to make sure everything's lined up, I'm going to, you know, align to center, and we're good. And then all you need to do then is just merge these shapes. And you have your keychain shape. Pretty easy to do. If you're familiar with vector tools like Illustrator, you're going to find Lightburn actually has a number of these features, and it's pretty easy to work with. So once I kind of realized this was a vector program, I don't know if it was like my mindset changed or what, but it was much easier to start playing around in. So I've got this shape that I'm going to do, that I'm going to cut for a keychain, and I want to cut multiples of them. So I'm going to create an array really quick, and you can do that. I can tell it how many, you know, columns I want. I think I've got 5 by 4. Yeah. And you can even, as you can see, you can kind of change the spacing a little bit. I have mine set a little close together. And part of the reason I think I did that was because I took this one, and when you do an array like that, you can actually rotate. And because they're all connected, it will rotate them together. And then I can go back to the array, and I can still adjust things. And this is mostly because you're just trying to make the most of your material. So like that's 0, and that's 2, and that works pretty well, and that gets kind of everything together. So I've got basically this virtual array. And you can, if you want to, and make this a real array, you can take the virtual off, and then these all become real shapes. Like, for instance, I've got all of this, and I feel like I could probably rotate 90 degrees and then line it up to, you know, I always have like a 2 millimeter threshold or on my laser cutter, so I know where it is. So, you know, just try to maximize material. So after that, it's just a matter of, you know, setting it to my cut settings for my material, and then sending it to my laser printer to cut. And this will take, looks like for mine, a little less than 5 minutes. So I'm going to send it to the laser printer to cut. And then from there, I'm going to show you how I make the cool keychains. So as you can see, I've got this shape now cut out of clear acrylic, and it matches my sticker border quite well. As you can see, nice, simple little outline. So once you get this peeled and ready for the sticker, you just apply the sticker. Now, I will say that in order for this to work, you're going to want to print and cut your stickers with a layer of like laminate over it. So whether you do like, you know, heat laminate or just like some of the self-adhesive laminate to make the stickers waterproof, you are going to want to do that with the resin. And because I have done that with stickers that don't have, and they kind of bleed a little bit because the resin is obviously wet and it's going to soak into the sticker. So you're definitely going to want to do this with a sticker that's got a layer of waterproofing over it. Once you've got the sticker applied, you're just going to add on a layer of resin. So safety first, pair of gloves, you know, adequate ventilation. And then the resin that I'm using for this is just the UV is a UV resin. It's a hard type. This is the one that is pretty popular on Amazon. I think it works pretty well. Very low odor, in my opinion. You do probably compromise a little bit on durability by using UV resin versus your basic standard resin that's going to need, some hours to cure. So it would work the same way, but I'm choosing to use the UV. So, and I'm sure there is, a neater way to apply resin, but I don't use it all that often. So this is like one of the few projects that I use it for. I apologize if my process for applying resin is messy and, there are better ways to do it. But basically, you just kind of want to cover the top of the acrylic completely. Yep, that looks good. And then if there are any little bubbles, I do know that you can use like a little bit of a heat source to just kind of pop them. So there we go. And now I'm going to put this in under the UV light and I'm going to let it cure. I tend to run it for 2 cycles of 120 seconds on this light just to make sure that it's good and cure. So I'm going to let this cure and then I will show you the results. All right, we are all done and out pops my keychain. This covered pretty good. I think I have a little bit of a spot right there, but otherwise, as you can see, it's got a nice clear protective layer for the sticker, and it looks just like one of the keychains that seem to be very popular with a cute little design in it, and it's homemade. There. And we're all done. So there you have it. A really cool, clear acrylic keychain. I will say, obviously, if you're going to be making and selling these in bulk, perhaps maybe, having them shipped out to a manufacturer might be a smarter choice. But if you're just trying to do a couple of, ones for yourself or wanting to really keep things in-house, this is a good way to do it. If you like material like this and want to keep up with other videos that I'm making, you can hit the subscribe button down below. Also give me a like and let me know in the comments how this works for you guys or if you have any additional tips, and I will see you guys later. Bye.